Most people are marionettes, strings waiting to be pulled. Any fool with a cheap insult, a snide comment, a well-placed jab can make them dance. Their emotions are not sovereign, they are public property. Their anger, their outrage, their joy, all auctioned off to the highest bidder. This is weakness in its purest form, but not you. You will not twitch at every provocation. You will not spill your power with every emotional spasm. You will become the strategist who rules himself first, and by that governance rules the moment. You will not be bait. You will be the baiter. You will not react. You will dictate. This is the doctrine of control, mastery within before mastery without. Command over the self before command over the world. The fool rages, the mob reacts, the prince restrains, and therefore the prince decides. Machiavelli would sneer at those who waste their strength answering every insult, every rumor, every spark of contempt. He would remind you, power is not lost in grand defeats, but in 1,000 small leaks. He would say, govern your impulses and you govern appearances. Govern appearances and you govern perception. Govern perception and you govern reality itself. So, what are the weapons of control? They are not rage, not rebuttal, not frantic defense. They are silence, strategy, and decisive restraint. And now, 3 techniques. Shut your mouth. Command the room. How many times have you disgraced yourself by blurting something out in the heat of the moment? Pathetic. Once words escape, they are chains around your neck. You can never reel them back. And Machiavelli would laugh, reminding you, power leaks through the tongue faster than through the sword. Silence is not weakness. Silence is altitude. While the mob erupts, while accusations fly, while lesser men scramble to explain themselves like cornered dogs, the prince waits. The one who withholds response, who times their words like arrows, owns the board. Restraint is strategy. Delay is dominance. Now ask yourself, do you babble to fill the void, to soothe your insecurity, to clarify like a desperate child begging to be understood? Every extra word you spit is a gift to your opponent. Ammunition, evidence, confession. You think you're clever, but you're bleeding yourself out with every syllable. How many times have you lost ground in a negotiation, an argument, or even idle gossip simply because you could not bear the silence? Machiavelli warned, men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Appearances rule. A prince avoids contempt not with speeches, but with composure and control. Think of the fox and the lion. The fox survives by leaving no tracks. The lion terrifies not by endless roaring, but by silence. Until the strike. Strategic silence is both the fox's cloak and the lion's coil. Fast forward to your life now, your workplace, your social media, your own family table. Everyone is baiting you for reaction, for content, for leverage. And like a fool, you give it to them instantly. You make yourself predictable, scripted, steerable. But when you withhold, when you refuse their trap, suddenly they reveal their intentions. They overplay, they miscalculate, and you tighten your grip. So how do you turn silence into a weapon? When provoked, impose a 30 to 90 second no-speak rule. Breathe, let them stew. That pause alone marks the difference between pawns and kings. If you must speak, never ramble. Drop a single blade-sharp question, one fact, no essays. Classify everything you hear into 3 categories: signal, act, noise, ignore. Bait study bait, like a specimen under glass, but never, ever swallow it. And always keep 2 neutral exits loaded, noted, or let's revisit with facts. Then walk away. Every silence fattens your leverage. Every withheld word starves your enemy. Machiavelli would never plead, explain, or justify. He would sit in silence, watching the weak destroy themselves with their own tongues. So the next time someone pushes, provokes, or pressures you, what will you do? Will you hand them your power like a begging fool? Or will you master silence and rule like a true prince?
Hey guys, we're Wisdom, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Stop renting your mood. Own the lease of power. Think about it. How many times have you let some nobody, someone you barely know, decide whether you feel powerful or pathetic? One throwaway comment online ruins your day. One cheap compliment at work hijacks your week. You parade around, thinking you're in control, but your emotions are being leased out for pennies. You're not sovereign, you're a tenant. Here's the Machiavellian truth. Praise and insult are the same poison in different bottles. Both are designed to chain you to the whim of others. The second your state depends on their noise, you stop being a ruler of yourself. You become their servant. Let's be brutally clear. You are volatile because your valuation system is outsourced. When a stranger insults you, you collapse. When a stranger flatters you, you swell. Either way, you've handed them the wheel of your mind. That makes you predictable, controllable. And in the world of power, the predictable man is already defeated. Machiavelli warned rulers, avoid hatred, avoid contempt, but never debase yourself by chasing universal love. Why? Because the crowd is fickle. One day they cheer you, the next they burn you alive. A true prince never rents his authority to applause. He anchors it in results and reputation. He dispenses benefits little by little, so they echo. He delivers harms all at once, so they vanish. That's not just politics, that's psychological warfare. Now translate that into your daily life. Treat opinions like market prices, signals, not scripture. The market jumps with moods, rumors, hysteria. But the value of a company rests on fundamentals. You are that company. Your standards are your fundamentals. The crowd sets a ticker price, but you trade on your standards. Check the market for data, never for identity. So how do you seize back your sovereignty? Start with non-negotiables. Define 3 standards you live by. Example: truth over image, long-term over optics, results over noise. Write them down. This is your constitution. Break it for no one. Next, filter criticism. When attacked, ask, is it informed? Is it aligned with my mission? Is it specific? If not, it's garbage. Discard it. No reply, no reaction. Indifference bleeds the critic dry. Then, strip the fangs out of praise. When someone flatters you, log it. Translate it into metrics, outcomes, referrals, results. Then cut the high with one sentence. Good. Now replicate. Praise becomes fuel, not a drug. And when insult comes, deploy the shield. You may be right. Then pivot back to mission. No defense, no escalation. The attack dies in silence. You conserve tempo, you conserve power, and you walk away with the crown intact. Because here is the Machiavellian maxim: he who controls the frame controls the fate. If you let others dictate your worth with their noise, you've already been conquered. But when you define yourself by your standards, you become untouchable. Their words crash against your fortress and vanish. So answer me, are you living by your own iron code? Or are you still renting your mood to strangers, selling your sovereignty for scraps? Train cold, rule calm. Most people fantasize about composure, but they rehearse collapse. They wake reactive, they live reactive, and then they expect poise on demand. That isn't strategy. That's delusion. Understand this. Pressure doesn't create weakness, it exposes it. You don't rise to the occasion. You default to your habits. If your habits are sloppy, you will break. Look at yourself. You dream of calm under fire, yet you train chaos every day. Constant distraction, endless scrolling, emotional tantrums over trivia. And then, when the storm hits, when your boss humiliates you, when betrayal cuts you, when the mob turns, you're shocked at your collapse. Don't be. You trained for it. Machiavelli compared fortune to a raging river. When the flood comes, only those who built levees in fair weather survive. Calm under fire isn't a gift, it's infrastructure. Now drag that into your life. Your flood is coming. Deadlines, betrayal, public humiliation, financial ruin, maybe just an ordinary day that spirals into chaos. If your routines are weak, you will drown. But if your systems are fortified, the storm only proves your strength. Because here is the law. Pressure crowns the prepared. The flood is inevitable. Machiavelli would sneer at those who pray for mercy. Fortune bends only to those who rehearsed their dominance long before the waters rose. So choose. Will you rehearse chaos like the masses? Or will you train cold, fight calm, and stand like a prince? Levees unbroken as the flood swallows everyone else. Never rent power, forge it. You think you're strong. You think you're secure. But look closely. How much of that strength is actually yours? How much of it is borrowed? Here's the truth. Borrowed strength is brittle. The moment fortune shifts, it cracks. Mercenaries, auxiliaries, outsourced muscle, they all fight for you only while it serves them. And when it no longer does, they turn, they flee, they vanish. The power you thought you had wasn't yours, it was rented, and the lease just expired. Be honest with yourself. You outsource too much. Your reputation rests on others praising you. Your defense depends on others protecting you. Your livelihood relies on others giving you opportunity. You lean on other people's networks, platforms, and armies. That leash can be yanked any time, and you'll have no say in it. Machiavelli despised mercenaries. He called them useless and dangerous. Why? Because they bring only slow, belated, unconvincing victories, then sudden, bewildering defeats. He saw Italy ruined by them, foreign soldiers who melted away the moment real blood was spilled. A prince who leans on mercenaries is already lost. And if you're leaning on others for your survival, so are you. Now, let's bring this into the modern world. Mercenaries today don't always carry swords. They come in the form of borrowed platforms, fragile partnerships, or reputations rented from influencers and institutions. They're useful, yes, but they're never sovereign. If you don't build your own base, you're not a ruler. You're just a client of someone else's empire. So what would Machiavelli do? He'd own his army. He'd build power that cannot be yanked away. And here's how you do the same. First, build direct loyalty. Strengthen ties with those who depend directly on you, not through middlemen, not through borrowed channels, but face-to-face, hand-to-hand. When they win, it's because of you. When they survive, it's because of you. That bond cannot be rented. Second, diversify independence. Never let your fate rest on a single supplier, a single ally, a single platform. If one collapses, your empire must still stand. Third, forge a skill armory. Stop outsourcing everything. Learn the core capabilities yourself. Communication, defense, finance. A prince who cannot command directly, who cannot defend himself, is no prince at all. And fourth, cut dead weight. If someone fights only when it's easy, they are not an ally. They are a liability. Remove them before the storm comes, because when it does, they won't just abandon you. They'll drag you down with them. Here's the maxim Machiavelli would leave you with. Your army must be yours, or it will be your master. So I'll ask you this. Are you truly sovereign, or are you just a tenant, living on land owned by someone else, defended by someone else, waiting for the day they decide to evict you? Forget love. Demand respect. Love is fickle. Fear is volatile. But respect, rooted in strength and competence, is what endures. Let's be blunt. You are addicted to affection, addicted to likes, addicted to applause. You bend your spine for approval and then whine when the crowd turns against you. Pathetic. The truth is this. Love is cheap. The moment fortune shifts, the same mouths that praised you will spit on your name. And yet you still chase their warmth like a beggar chasing scraps. Vanity has enslaved you. Their moods dictate your worth. You are not a master, you are a puppet. Machiavelli wrote it plainly. It is much safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Why? Because love is fragile. It dissolves under pressure. Fear is more reliable. But even fear can rot into resentment, and resentment ferments into hatred, and hatred topples thrones. The true prince avoids this trap. He commands respect, through victories, through competence, through discipline. Respect binds tighter than love and longer than fear. It compels loyalty without begging for it. Look around you today, in business, in politics, even in your own life. You see people chasing affection. They posture for approval. They cower to avoid offense. And what happens? They get discarded, forgotten, replaced by someone sharper. But the ones who endure, they anchor themselves in respect. They deliver competence so undeniable, results so irrefutable, that personal feelings don't matter. Love can be withdrawn. Fear can turn on you, but respect cements your authority. Cut once, clean, complete. Hesitation breeds revolt. Delay gives your enemies breath. A single, decisive strike, swift and final, consolidates power faster than any drawn-out cruelty or wavering mercy. Look at yourself. How many decisions sit half-done because you're waiting for the perfect moment? How many problems do you nibble at? Small fixes, polite emails, soft warnings, hoping they'll disappear. You tell yourself this is kindness. You tell yourself you're being humane. The truth is uglier. It's weakness. Every delay multiplies the wound. Resentment grows. Uncertainty spreads. People stop trusting you because they don't know where you stand. You think you're softening the blow. You're actually poisoning your authority. Machiavelli said it plainly. Injuries should be inflicted all at once. Benefits should be given out slowly. Think of that for a second. Injury delivered like lightning leaves no chance for lingering descent. Benefits given like slow rain make gratitude last. The Borgias and other successful actors of power didn't scatter violence over months. They ended the threat in one clean act, then built goodwill slowly after. That is surgical politics, and it applies to you. Translate to today. In business, laying off staff in waves only saps morale and creates constant fear. Cut once with dignity and clear reasons, then focus on rebuilding. In relationships, dragging a breakup across weeks, mixed messages, late-night texts, let's talk loops. Doubles the pain for both people. End cleanly, let both parties heal. In alliances, when someone betrays you, don't keep them on a leash and hope they won't bite again. Sever ties, secure your position, then offer limited, earned benefits later if it serves your strategy. So, what does a Machiavellian, practical how-to look like? Here's a playbook you can use tomorrow. Plan the cut. Decide fully in private. Don't poll the room. Don't debate the final move publicly. Gather facts, test scenarios, set the objective you want to achieve by cutting: stability, deterrence, resource reallocation. Ask, what does success look like 1 week from now, 1 month, 1 year? If the cut doesn't move those needles, don't do it. Execute in one blow. When you act, be swift and unemotional. Announce the decision clearly, then act. No long apologies, no theatrics, no begging for understanding. Clarity replaces chaos. Example, if you fire toxic team members, do it in one planned round with severance, clear rationale, and a communications line for the remaining team. Don't dribble exits for weeks. Waves ruin trust. Follow with gains. After the strike, restore order fast. People fear vacuums. Fill it with structure. New roles, visible projects, small but meaningful wins. Reward competence publicly, but slowly. Give people time to see the pattern. This is how fear dulls into stability and then converts into respect and loyalty. Do not reopen wounds. Never backtrack. If you reverse a cut you made, rehire someone you fired, rescind a policy, you teach everyone that decisions are negotiable. Reversal destroys credibility faster than cruelty ever could. Make the cut, own it, then move the whole operation forward as if it was always the plan. Practical drills, daily tools you can start today. Decision deadline. For any issue that matters, set a private cut by time. When the clock hits 0, you act. This forces clarity and ends endless debate. One-sentence notice. Prepare a short factual line explaining the decision. Read it out or send it. Short messages reduce drama. Containment plan. Before you announce, define 2 follow-up moves. A. Immediate stabilization for the group. B. Long-term recovery steps. This reduces panic. Closure ritual. After executing, perform a small ritual that signals finality. A team meeting, a written memo with next steps, a public reset. Rituals end ambiguity. Seize fortune by the throat. Think about the last time you waited. You waited for the perfect window, the perfect signal, the perfect feeling of safety. And it never came. Opportunity didn't hold for you. It slipped away while you argued with your own fear. Machiavelli would call that cowardice dressed as prudence. Fortune rewards the mover, not the murmurer. Fortune favors the audacious. The bold carve the future. The cautious drown when floods come. Ask yourself, are you scanning for certainty, or are you practicing to act? Most people overthink and understrike. They dream of the right time and end up watching others take what could have been theirs. Machiavelli put it bluntly, it is better to be impetuous than cautious, for fortune is a woman. And if she is to be submissive, it is necessary to beat and coerce her. She favors the bold, the young, the audacious. Harsh words, but the point is sharp. Hesitation is not neutral. It is eaten. So what would Machiavelli actually do if he were facing your choices today? He would bias toward action, shape risk so odds favor him, and make bold moves that create new realities. Here's an exact practical script you can use. Not to be reckless, but to make boldness disciplined and survivable. Decide fast within limits. Give yourself a thinking window. No more than 48 hours for medium decisions. For small ones, use the 2-minute rule. If it can be done or rejected in 2 minutes, do it. For big bets, limit deliberation to a fixed private process. Gather key facts, run one red team question, and set a go-no-go deadline. The longer you idle, the more the world hardens against you. Reframe risk as survivability. Stop asking, is this safe? Ask, if this goes wrong, can I survive it without catastrophic loss? If yes, act. If no, adjust the scale. Fortune rewards moves that are bold but survivable. Asymmetric bets where upside far outweighs downside. Exploit chaos windows. When markets wobble, when competitors stumble, when public attention fractures, act. Others freeze. That moment of confusion is a doorway. Launch, pivot, or seize attention while everyone else recalibrates. Small, decisive steps in chaos often produce outsized gains. Burn hesitation rituals. Physically remove the undue paths that let you back out. Make commitment visible. Book the non-refundable ticket. Put money on the table. Tell a trusted ally the plan so your reputation is tied to action. Burning the ships forces you forward, and it signals to others you mean it. Do tiny first strikes. Not every bold move should be all in. Start with micro-faith experiments that test waters quickly. A short pilot product, one decisive conversation asking for the raise, a single public bet on an opinion piece. Learn fast. Scale the strikes that win. Plan the retreat quietly. Boldness isn't bravado without contingency. Whenever you act, have an exit that protects your core. A liquidity buffer, a fallback job, a preserved relationship channel. Knowing you can survive failure makes you more willing to take the correct kinds of risks. Consolidate the gain immediately. Machiavelli taught you must convert bold action into lasting power. After a win, lock it down. Formalize agreements, socialize new rules, reward the people who backed you, and reframe the narrative so the move looks inevitable in hindsight. Momentum hardens into authority only if you follow through. Practice daily. Set a micro-boldness habit. Once a week, do one action you'd normally avoid for fear of being judged. Ask the question you fear. Send the pitch you keep drafting. Post the short video you've edited a dozen times. These small shocks train your reflexes to move before doubt calcifies.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the resources and the original books we used today. We'll see you in the next one.